Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I try to open your eyes and ears to some of the travails and tribulations that take place throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this one is coming at you straight out of Oregon. And how it shows that it's very tough to be a single woman in today's time with all the craziness that's going on. And I have two daughters. So here we go. Relationships with single moms then SAs them, the women and daughters, deputies say. This is a man out of from that was living in Oregon. Authorities in Oregon say a man used social media to meet single mothers and SA them and their daughters, the mothers and daughters. Investigators fear there could be more victims in light of the new charges. And defendant Antonio Arredondo, 37, is a registered sex offender. The Dallas Police Department in Oregon, Portland Police Bureau, the Tigard Police Department, and the Washington County Sheriff's Office discussed the allegations in a joint statement. A Washington grand jury indicted Arredondo last August for 3 counts of R in the first degree, 2 counts of sodomy in the first degree, and 3 counts of SX abuse in the first degree. A grand jury indicted him for another count of SX abuse in the first degree regarding a separate victim in the same county. Authorities currently have him locked up in the local jail. Through the investigation and indictment process, investigators and a deputy district attorney assigned to the case learned of at least 2 other cases in Oregon involving Arredondo with similar circumstances. The Portland Police Bureau is investigating one, and the City of Dallas Police is investigating the other. Arredondo preyed on single mothers through social media in order to worm his way into their lives and then SA them, their daughters, or even both, investigators claim. So this man committed sexual misconduct, sometimes not only against the mothers, but also the daughters. And he preyed on these women through social media platforms, which is what I'm on doing this video. All of this is social media, and I want to bring this to all the women in the country and the world, bring this some awareness. Investigators believe Arredondo used social media apps such as Facebook to seek out single women with young daughters and pursues romantic relationships with the single mother, they wrote. Arredondo is eventually invited into the home of the victims, and over a short period of time, he SAs the mother and or the daughter. This is an unbelievable story. I'm telling you, this is true. Oregon authorities believe he has been in the Pacific Northwest for several years. In light of there being multiple cases throughout Oregon, investigators and prosecutors strongly believe there may be more victims in the Pacific Northwest region. It says Texas sex offenders records show Arredondo was convicted in 2009 in a 2009 case for indecency with a child by contact. The abuse survivor, was 10 years old at the time. Unreal. This is some kind of predator in our opinion, says Sergeant Danny DiPietro of the Washington County Sheriff's Office. That's what he said to KGW. What an incredible story. This is the toughest time, I think, in all my years of living, for young people to grow up and navigate their way through this life, and then for single mothers, whether divorced, never been married, and definitely if you have young children at home and you still want to have a dating life. You almost have to put that, if your child is 10, especially a little girl, you might have to put that off for 8 years because there's so much craziness that's going on out here um, in the world today. And there are tons of people on the SX registry, people you wouldn't even think of. And meeting people on Facebook apps and Instagram and all of these other dating sites, it just makes it very hard to know who's, first of all, who's real and who isn't, and then secondly, who is sensible, rational, mature, and wants to have a real dialogue and relationship with someone. A lot of this stuff that you see on these social media platforms and on dating sites, one, it's a lot of robots. They're fake people. And then two, you have people that are trying to play games, maybe extort money out of you. They will ghost you. It is a very tough time. I've been divorced for 14 years, and I've been single, and it's even tough for men, but it's especially tough for women from a physical standpoint and being attacked, robbed, and then you have men and women out here that are just trying to get the bag by any means necessary and can be very slick and not trustworthy. So I wanted to do this particular video because this gentleman, he actually was singling out single mothers with daughters and then trying to have relationships with both of them, if not just the mother. So it is fantastic that they could get him off the street. He has been arrested and detained. He has a history back in Texas in '09 where he ended up having to register as a sex offender, and maybe he should have been in jail a little bit longer. Even though 2009 is about 15 years ago, there are a lot of strange people out here, and he was using one of your biggest platforms, a Facebook dating app, to try to find these women and their daughters. But he's been captured, thank God, and I have two beautiful daughters that are grown and in their 20s. This is a very tough time right in this era with social media, with all the apps and the dating sites that are out there. You can be bombarded with nonsense, and you have to sift through. I tell folks all the time, especially my daughters and women, utilize the 5 senses that God has given you. Always go with your gut instinct. Of course, meeting someone out in a public place, and then definitely not allowing them to move in with you. But there's just so many, you have to put up so many barriers and roadblocks that it makes it hard for, if you've been married and divorced and trying to maintain a real relationship with someone. Many times these apps are not the way to go. The old traditional way of meeting someone at work or going out or having a friend recommend somebody else where they've already been vetted is probably the best thing to do. But the dating apps are huge today. A lot of people are doing them, and you still have to have some kind of vetting process because you just don't know if you're bringing a good spirit into your personal space or a negative spirit into your personal space, life, and let alone your home. The security of your children is always of the utmost importance, along with the security of yourself. And these predators come in all shapes, sizes, and colors, and you can't identify one just by looking at them. Some of these cases you see, these guys look like they be the nicest person in the world, and they have nothing but demonic and diabolical issues going on with it inside of them and trying to take advantage of people. Tell me what you think. This has been the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth about this gentleman who was going after mothers and daughters on dating apps and trying to take advantage.